The late spring breaks start prior and most understudies choose to head home. Having nothing to do at home, Sid chooses to remain in the quarters, yet before long acknowledges he has nothing to do there all things considered. He before long gets a letter from Alpha, enlightening him regarding Lindworm. In the meantime, Epsilon is glad to begin her day. She reviews how she was saved by Shadow and acquired Ooze sorcery, which permitted her to battle two beliefs. Utilizing the Ooze sorcery, she gives herself a bigger bust. Epsilon is recollecting the far-off past when Sid told her she could change her fate. She didn't ponder the clique like different young ladies. She watched Epsilon and her young creating bust. Beta composes an original about how Shadow saved a lady from Xenon Griffey, yet gets baffled and chooses to take some natural air. Outside, Beta winds up gathering Epsilon, who expresses that recently Shadow has been looking at her, particularly her chest. Beta would rather not trust it. Yet Epsilon expresses that since both have enormous busts, they are more mindful of those kind of looks. Epsilon then prods Beta in the event that she had not gotten such looks from Shadow. Nu then, at that point, comes and lets them know that they have another mandate from Alpha. Iris and Alexia visits Gamma's store to plan for Alexia's excursion to the Holy Land as an extraordinary visitor for the goddess preliminary. Alexia means to utilize the open door and talk with ecclesiastical overseer and investigates dull bits of hearsay about debasement and missing vagrants. Gamma meets them and presents herself as Luna. In the wake of making sense of why they are there, Alexia solicitations to see a few other more normal things for regular use, which will not be precisely for her, however it won't be a gift to somebody by the same token. Gamma then acknowledges what she means and shows her a few undies and straps. As they scarcely cover anything and the men like them, Iris is against it, however Alexia likes them and is sure she will great search in them. She winds up attempting them and figures out how to persuade Iris to let her get them. After the psychological oppressor assault, Rose heard that Sid is alive and hurried to track down him. She found him canvassed in swathes and states he probably made do and made a supernatural occurrence by his profound love her. She acknowledges his affection and as he saved her, she will give him her heart. Later Sid and Rose are voyaging together in a train towards the consecrated grounds, with Rose sticking to him. As it will take them 2 additional days until they show up, Sid feels his choice to accept the train as a Foundation character was a slip-up and he might have run there quicker. Rose surmised that Sid is there to take on the goddess preliminary. Sid doesn't know, however surmises that Alpha sent him for that and affirms it. Rose then, at that point, makes sense of that those that get the goddess favors might try and wed a princess, and assuming he gets it, she will talk with her dad about the youthful courageous man. She actually can't inform anybody regarding them, however trust that in the event that they buckle down, they will have a blissful future. In any case, Sid accepting that she is attempting to enroll him into her confidence and doesn't figure out that he's discussing her sentiments to him. Arriving at Lindworm, Sid sees some keychains of a sword penetrating a left devilish arm. Rose clarifies that agreeing for the legend, here Olivier cut off the left arm of the evil presence Diablos. Some place inside the Close by Mountains are the remains known as the Safe Haven, where it's said that Diablo's left arm is fixed. Strolling around, Rose sees a marking occasion of the creator Natsum. Rose loves hers and they line up. She makes sense of how unique her functions are and the way that different and non-existent they are. Sid then checks a portion of her books and sees titles like Romeo e Julieta, Asherella, Star It's a Snare Wars, One Satchel, Winged Serpent Bowl, and so forth. He rapidly acknowledges they are counterfeited and surmises that another person had resurrected like him, and lines up to figure out what its identity is. Amazingly, he sees Beta is Natsum, who utilized his insight to get herself popular. Sid reviews that Beta let him know she cherishes writing, so he recounted her a couple of stories from his previous existence. He thought she planned to involve them as a motivation to think of a cool story, however she wound up taking them. Beta signs a book and gives it to him, expressing it contains every one of the subtleties of the mission. Rose shows her book to Sid. saying that Natsum thought of her name in it. She thinks about Natsum's message to Sid, however are amazed to see it's written in old language. Rose knows a piece, yet can't understand it. She asks why she composed it like that and Sid supposes it's on the grounds that it's cool. Alpha is close to ecclesiastical overseer Drake's dead body and considers what he was concealing that they even killed a man of his high status. Sid sees a man running on a housetop and stops him. The man assaults him, however Sid effectively impedes. Epsilon then appears and kills the man. She lets Sid know that the objective was disposed of by the faction's killer. They got his associates, yet the killer has crawled under a rock. They will be moving to Plan B. Sid illuminates her that he will continue with his own arrangements.